This is probably an unpopular opinion, but I was overall satisfied with season 4. There were lots of key moments that had a lasting impact on me and the show. However, it could be better. There were times that I felt the season could be better with a few minor changes, and by minor, I mean a lot. A few of the things that will be changed is Zoe being removed from the show and Shadowmoth not creating the Mega Kumas, because while Ladybug created the magical charms in season 5, I felt that Shadowmoth creating the Mega Kumas in that very same season kind of, I don't know, hinders Ladybug's development. She developed, but in him finding a counterattack towards her magical charms made it so that she hadn't developed at all. It's just the same situation all over again. He can akumatize someone whether they have a magical charm or not, which I felt to be pretty shitty. Side note before we begin, my previous season 3 rewrite has no effect on this video whatsoever. Think of it this way, seasons 1 to 3 is canon, and with that in mind, that is how I am rewriting season 4. This is after the events of the canon season 3 finale. Episode 1, Suhan. This episode basically replaces Furious Fu. In the episode, Suhan will be introduced and he will essentially be the villain of the episode, and Master Fu won't return until my rewrite for season 5. The episode goes as follows. Marinette will be trying to figure out how the new miracle box works, just like in Truth, and when she does, just like in Truth, the Kwamis will fly out around and distract her. She manages to get them under control and starts talking to them, asking them about their abilities and explaining to them how things will work from now on. At that moment, Luca shows up for their planned date that was supposed to happen an hour ago, but she forgot. So, in truth, we got a montage of their dates and how it went wrong, right? Well, those montages will be emphasized in the next 3 or 4 episodes to make the relationship feel natural and steady paced. They go to the movies, and on their way there, they talk and have fun until Marinette notices Cat Noir patrolling alone. Which reminds her that she also told Cat Noir that they'd be patrolling the city around the same time she planned to meet up with Luca. Marinette accidentally spills a drink all over herself and runs off to join Cat Noir, leaving Luca at the movies alone. Conveniently, Ladybug notices someone at her balcony entering her room before she can meet up with Cat Noir. Ladybug heads home and confronts the intruder, who introduces himself as Suhan. And basically what happened in Furious Fu happens here, and they meet up with Cat Noir, and Cat Noir tells Ladybug that he called her dozens of times but she didn't pick up, and mentions that he may or may not have ditched Kagami to patrol the city. They then fight to get the miracle box back, and somehow, someway, they convince Suhan that he can keep a close eye on them, and if anything were to happen, he can take the miracle box back. And at the end of the episode, Luca calls Marinette to ask about her, and they plan another date. The entire point of this episode is to introduce Suhan and have him be everywhere there is an akumatized villain in order to observe Ladybug. At some point, Cat Noir will point this out, and this will cause Ladybug to be under more stress, prompting Cat Noir to be more relevant, helping her come up with a plan to defeat the villain when she can't think due to the stress that Suhan is putting on her. Episode 2, Psychomedian. This episode was honestly fun and light-hearted, but it was filler, so I will make it relevant to the overall plot of season 4. The episode goes as follows. Gabriel fixes the Peacock Miraculous and transforms into Shadow Moth. To give Adrian more personality and to flesh out his cat noir side a bit more, he knows who Harry the Clown is, and he likes his skits. That's where he gets his bad jokes from, some of them at least. What happened originally in the episode happens here. Harry goes to Marinette's bakery and she asks if she can get free tickets to the show. A bit out of character, but stay with me. She gets her tickets and she decides to have a triple date. Alia and Nina, her and Luca, Adrian and Kagami. Adrian says his father might not let him go, and Marinette asks Harry to talk to Gabriel since Harry has history with Gabby. He tells the original lie of wanting Adrian to be in a movie. Gabriel agrees and they all go to the show. Marinette tries to make Luca laugh by doing to him what she did to Adrian in that episode, doing one of Harry's skits. She embarrasses herself and Harry meets with Bob Roth for the movie idea. It fails and he gets akumatized, obviously. Marinette and Adrian ditch the group with Alia and Luca noticing Marinette is gone and Kagami seeing that Adrian is gone. And here's more good news. Remember the power up Gabriel got by using both the peacock and butterfly miraculous? Well, the writers didn't. Psychomedian gets a sentimonster named something, I cannot think of a name, and has the same power as Psychomedian. Ladybug gets hit, she's angry, and they defeat the villain like they did in the original episode. And Ladybug doesn't give him a magical charm because she won't have that power until episode 7. Off script, I forgot to write this down. The entire point of this episode as well is to also further cement the fact that Marinette cannot tell Luca the truth, and Adrian is lying to Kagami because he ditched them and without any word and all of that. I'm just trying to flesh out their relationship a bit more within these earlier episodes as well, while still focusing on other aspects like Gabriel fixing the Peacock Miraculous and so forth. Episode 3 Guilt Trip. Julika is akumatized, but it's not filler because it furthers the plot of the season. It goes as follows. We open up with Rose seeing a video of someone bashing Ladybug and Cat Noir's inability to defeat Shadowmoth. She is watching it with Julika and remains positive that Ladybug and Cat Noir will defeat him one day. Marinette is on a call with Luca where they plan another date with Luca sarcastically saying, "And you won't ditch me again, right?" To which Marinette laughs nervously and says she won't before hanging up and looking a bit guilty because she cannot tell Luca the truth. The video Rose was watching was brought up again in class, to which some of the class kind of agrees, but not in a bad way. In a way that is reasonable, and they all start to feel a bit negative, and Adrian and Marinette start to feel a bit guilty about not being able to defeat Shadowmoth. Rose yells, saying that they have to stay positive no matter what, and she faints because of her illness. She goes to the nurse's office, and what happened in the original episode happens here. Julika tells everyone about Rose's illness and how it allows her to be positive even in the worst situations. Then the part where everyone treats Rose differently happens. Julika feels guilty and is akumatized and gets her sentimonster. Things happen as they do, and our heroes end up inside Guilt Trip, and whilst they try to fight the negative emotions, they succumb to it. Ladybug feels guilty for not being able to tell her boyfriend the truth and not being able to defeat Shadowmoth. Cat Noir feels guilty for lying to Kagami and not being able to defeat Shadowmoth. Rose shows up and Ladybug gets a flashback to when the Kwamis were explaining their powers to her in the first episode, and she remembers Daisy. Rose gets the pig miraculous and they do what they did in the original episode and the day is saved. Again, I forgot to write this down. I forgot to actually write this in most of the episodes at the end. Whenever Ladybug gives out a new miraculous, before she gives out a new miraculous, she will get a flashback to the first episode where the Kwamis explain their power in order to link most of the stuff to the first episode, so that she remembers it and gives the person the correct miraculous for the current situation. And this entire episode again is to solidify the fact that Adrian and Kagami and Marinette and Luca will break up. Not like the original where they just started dating the at the season 3 finale, then in the very next episode they break up, which is not on, and I did not like that. It was so rushed. I also feel that my version is a bit rushed as well, but it's not as rushed as the original one, so I feel that mine is better, obviously. Episode 4 Truth. After the audience has seen Marinette and Luca's relationship begin to fall apart, I think it's okay to add montages in this episode to solidify the point. The episode goes like so. Marinette wakes up to a lovely good morning text from Luca and how he's looking forward to their date. She gets ready and meets him in the garden. Now we can get a montage of the dates going wrong. The movies again, ice cream at Andre's, and her being late to his band practice, and a lot more to pad out the runtime of the episode, until he gets akumatized into truth with his Sentimonster. I have to emphasize that all the villains will have Sentimonsters this season. The episode goes as it normally did, but Ladybug has trouble fighting because she blames herself for what happened. This gives Cat Noir time to shine, and he is the one who figures out how to use the Lucky Charm because Ladybug is not in the game. They defeat Truth, and Marinette and Luca break up, Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. Now they broke up, We have episodes before this that shows us that the relationship isn't working, while also focusing on other aspects. Not just one episode, there are lots of montages, we're supposed to believe it, and yeah, no. This pats it out, this spreads it equally, and this allows the audience to properly analyze the situation and give us time to process what is happening. Episode 5, Lies. The same as Truth, we see Adrian and Kagami spend time together, but Adrian constantly disappears because he's Cat Noir. The only thing I will change is that dog shit plot armor ending where Ladybug uses a crocodile to defeat the villain, and Cat Noir sacrifices himself. If anything, he should have actually somehow helped to defeat Kagami since it's his episode. Him and Kagami break up, and that's the end of it. Episode 6, Gang of Secrets. Not much changes. I actually love the episode just the way it is. Alia figures out Marinette is Ladybug, and yeah, a perfect episode, honestly. The episode should stay the same, however, the explanation Rina Rouge gave to Ladybug to evolve her powers was bullshit. The only limits are the ones you put on yourself. Like, that's nonsense. It's true to an extent, but it's still nonsense. It should just be like your power is creation, so create something to block Akumas. That should be it, and Ladybug being able to now rely on Rina Rouge and other heroes might make Cat Noir feel insecure about his role, and he will talk about this to Plague in later episodes. This way, the finale is the same with Cat Noir feeling underappreciated. Episode 8, Mega Leech. Milen gets the mouse Miraculous. Since I and many other people found the reacclimatization of many characters stupid and redundant, in this episode the mayor won't be akumatized, it'll be someone else. They want to cut down the trees, and from there everything happens as it did in the episode. This big corporate conglomerate gets akumatized because people are annoying him and protesting against him, and then Milen gets the miraculous of the mouse and things work out in the end, just like in the original episode. Episode 9, Gabriel Agrest. I have always wanted Lila and Felix to meet in a way that compares their level of intelligence, and unfortunately, this is not that episode. What initially happens in the episode happens. Felix is on his way to Paris, and Marinette and the girls concoct a plan to win Adrian's heart. And Marinette, in classic criminal fashion, decides that the private event is the perfect time to do it, since she will be alone with Adrian. Lila hears about their plan and walks off quietly. Mari now gets the party but sees that there is another girl there. Remember the waitress outfit we saw in Collusion that Lila wore? Well, that is what we see here. Marino tries to get in, but her fake mustache is ripped off by the blonde waitress, and she goes in with the unknown waiter while Marinette is locked out. Felix and Gabriel stuff happens while the waitress listens in on their conversations. Senti Gabriel is akumatized and things happen the way they did in that episode originally. At the end of the episode, before the end card, we see Lila with video footage of Felix and Gabriel arguing about who Shadow Moth at this point. And that's it. That is the last time, except the finale, that we will see Lila for the season. But at least I planted the seeds for her knowing Gabriel is Shadow Moth or Monarch, because the writers clearly did not do that. I remember on Twitter, I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull it up on screen, but on Twitter, I think Thomas said that, or someone else said that Lila overheard a conversation of him talking to Natalie about it, and that's how she knows. But like, I just hate it. No, show it, show, don't tell. Episode 10, Gold Record. This episode is basically migration from season 5. I brought it here because Bob has never been akumatized in season 4 until Ephemeral. Although I do remember him being akumatized in my season 3 rewrite, but that video does not affect this one. They are standalone rewrites. This episode is basically migration. Bob screws over everyone to make money off of them, and Luca is having a hard time telling Bob what's what. And Julika tries to step in but gets shut down. After getting angry, Bob is akumatized into Gold Record, and the Senti monster is Record Player. After Gold Record hits someone, they get sucked in by Record Player, and their secret is revealed in the form of a song. Ladybug and Cat Noir have a hard time defeating the villain, so Julika gets the Tiger Miraculous, and long story short, she punches Bob and the Senti monster so hard a hole is created in the ground, knocking both of them out, and the day is saved. Julika tells Bob to fuck off, and the episode ends. Yes, it's filler, but that's what we need. A commenter mentioned how in season 4 and 5 there wasn't much of the silliness and goofiness previous seasons had. So I'm trying to keep things lively in filler episodes, and if I was the official writer of the show, I'd keep things goofy in every plot heavy episode as well. I kind of, at the same time, somewhat disagree with the commenter, but at the same time, I do agree because, yeah, when I was rewatching season 4, I felt that the tone was more serious, which is also understandable from a writer's perspective because, well, Marinette is the guardian. She has this responsibility. Things are in her point of view. So obviously, when she gets more responsibilities, the show becomes more serious. So it makes perfect sense. However, for the audience, for children, since the show is aimed at 12-year-olds, I mean, I'm not judging anyone who's an adult because I am a grown person watching the quote unquote kids show. Um, but this is for 12-year-olds and less. So, like, you have to also keep some of the goofiness in and make it likable for children of your age demographic. Episode 11, Manipula. I have brought season 5's determination here. Obviously, it has nothing to do with Ladybug falling in love with Cat Noir and Adrian with Marinette, so this is also a filler episode. Veronique wants to move the Ladybug and Cat Noir statues into the main hall, and remember the video of the guy bashing Ladybug and Cat Noir for not defeating Shadow Moth yet? Well, that guy shows up at the museum and talks shit to Veronica about the heroes, and she gets akumatized. While this is happening, Adrian and Marinette also see those videos in their room and just watch it, feeling absolutely guilty about not doing anything. Veronique wreaks havoc and she fights Ladybug and Cat Noir with the statues. The heroes win and the day is saved. Yes, it's filler, but it's only there to prepare you for the next episode, cool things down before things really start to pick pace. Episode 12, Optigami. It happens as it did in the original. Nothing changes. Episode 13, The Center Bubbler. It happens as it did in the original. There is nothing to change. Episode 15, Haxan. It's a full episode that does serve a purpose in season 5, so I'll leave it as is. Episode 14, Rocketeer. The same thing happens except Nino also gets some sort of sentimonster because, again, if you're gonna transform with the Peacock Miraculous, why not use it? It's like you're asking to lose. Episode 16, Bushmaker. This episode is honestly perfect just the way it is. Episode 17, Regulator. This is an original episode, and this name was given to me by this lovely commenter. Thank you so much. The episode goes as follows. Prince Ali returns to Paris and he is feeling a little rebellious. He escapes his chaperone to explore Paris and she is livid and concerned, like Godzilla when Adrian disappeared. She is akumatized into Regulator, a villain set on having things go according to schedule and order. Cat Noir realizes this and he actually gets to shine in this episode. Since Cat Noir doesn't want to have Adrian's life, he fights the main villain. Ladybug takes care of the Senti monster. Since there is no Queen Bee or Vesperia, she unifies the Bee Miraculous and Ladybug paralyzes the Senti monster. When she returns to help Cat Noir, it turns out that he took care of the villain by cataclysming the Akuma. Ladybug repairs everything, bringing back the Akuma and de-evilizing it. Prince Ali's chaperone realizes that people should have a bit of fun and the episode ends. Another way this episode could have gone is Ladybug giving Ali the Be Miraculous temporarily. Since he doesn't stay in Paris, you won't get it again and it doesn't have, you know what I mean, right? It's just filler. He'll never get it again since he doesn't live in Paris. So this could have happened. Ladybug goes to Ali to get his help, to make him more relevant to the episode. He gets the Be Miraculous, Ladybug distracts the Senti monster, and then Ali venoms it from behind. But if Ladybug just unifies the Be Miraculous with the Ladybug Miraculous, she could just face it head on, what's the thing called? Venom it, and yeah, that's it. Episode 18, Masterpiece. Remember that art teacher that was introduced in reverse way back in season 2 and was only seen once more? Actually, two times more, actually, if I remember correctly. Once more in Queen Banana, and then the second time in season 5 in the episode Collusion, I think. Yeah, He will be akumatized this episode. This episode will also focus on Mark. I think I forgot to write in here that Nathaniel will be here as well, but at the same time, I don't want the episode to feel overcrowded because, yeah, no, so he's not in this episode. Let's say he's off somewhere and he takes Mark's place to help the art teacher. In this episode, he will get the rooster Miraculous. Mark will get it. And this episode will also set up the dog Miraculous's power. At a school competition where Mark is, the art teacher gets his artwork insulted and gets akumatized into masterpiece, a villain who is set to create magnificent pieces of art with the stroke of his big brush. Mark tries to reason with him, but it doesn't work, and Ladybug chooses him to give the rooster Miraculous too. Rooster Bold uses his power to get into a competition with Masterpiece to create the best canvas anyone has ever seen with his power of sublimation, giving him the power to be the best artist there is. Cat Noir uses the dog Miraculous's power to touch the akumatized object and transfer it to him, destroying it and saving the day. Episode 19, Glaciated 2. This episode will not be changed under any circumstances. Oh, it's so merry chat. Honestly, I'm not touching this episode. I'm leaving this episode just as it is. It's so perfect. It's filler. It's amazing. It's amazing. I am not changing it. However, if I were to change it, Andre is not getting akumatized again because he is annoying. Yeah, so maybe someone else can get akumatized, like they ship, just like Andre, they ship Ladybug and Cat Noir. They see that Marinette and Cat Noir going out, and they're like, what the fuck? And get akumatized, you know? And then, yeah, that conversation with Ladybug and Cat Noir happened. Basically, the original episode happens, but with a brand new akumatized villain, instead of old, repeated, recycled akumatized villains. Episode 20, Master Chef. Alia's mother is akumatized. A new chef is in the hotel and she is trying to get the title of head chef and sabotages Alia's mother until she is fired and gets akumatized. Ladybug and Cat Noir battle the villain, and with the help of Rena Furtive, they use an illusion to trick the villain and win. The only reason this episode exists is to leave Shadowmoth wondering who cast the illusion spell if Rena Rouge is not a holder anymore. Episode 21, Risk. This episode is perfect just the way it is. Episode 22, Strike Back. This is the finale. Since Strike Back was better than the actual 100th episode, I'm making it the 100th episode of the show, since it is a turning point for the characters and the plot. And that is where season 4 ends. Yes, it has 22 episodes, but I think it works well for it. A season that is short and sweet, and the 100th episode is truly miraculous, unlike the dog shit called Ephemeral. Wow, that was a long rewrite. I have no idea how long this video will be, but I'll see. Damn, yeah. Do you agree with my rewrite or do you disagree? Let me know. I'd love to read your comments. See you soon and stay miraculous.